here with Ben Hulett to preview the 2018 Concordia indoor track season, which will be coming up after the semester as we talk about it here. First off, kind of get a feel for why you chose Concordia. You're from Gary, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
How did you come to find out about Concordia, and what made you want to be a student and a part of the track and field program here?
Well, I started off at Dream College, Iowa Western, and it wasn't too far, Council Bluffs, Iowa. And we ran against Concordia a couple of times, and they had pretty good hurdlers, and they always beat me. And my coach pretty much told me that they had a pretty good all-around coach in Coach Samuels. And it's pretty much the reason why I came, and it's one of the best coaches I ever had. So it was a pretty good choice for me.
Well, the assistant coaches, like Coach Samuels, pretty much stayed the same, even though there's a head coaching change last year. What were some of the adjustments for you? Maybe it wasn't a whole lot since you had the same assistants, but what were some of the biggest changes with getting used to Coach Beisel?
Well, he does a lot more talking than Coach Samuels. He's a real people person. I like him. He brings a lot of energy to the team, and he does a lot of team activities, which is great. We had team time every Monday, which really brought the team chemistry together. You know, track is a very big team. It's hard to remember everyone's names, but last year I felt like with the conference trips and with the nationals trips and with the team time, it really brought everybody together and formed a chemistry that I felt like would last longer than just past the season. So it was pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there are a ton of new athletes in the program. Yeah. How difficult is that to keep track of who everybody is?
Well, we have a pretty friendly team. We talk a lot. Like I know my past teams, it was pretty split up with like the throwers and the sprinters, and you know we didn't really talk as much. But as far as Concordia goes, everyone talks. Everyone gets to know each other. Spend a lot of time in like the trainers' rooms or before meets and things like that. And with the team time, it really get the chemistry from one. So,
well, the senior class that just departed and graduated in May, a lot of those guys had, you know, incredible careers, and Lucas Wickman, I know, is someone that you would have worked with a lot as a hurdler too. What did you notice about some of those guys that made them successful?
Lucas is one of the best athletes I ever ran with. I got to practice with him every day. We were both hurdlers, and I just paid attention to how he prepared, how he carried himself. He's very consistent, always worked very hard, and he pretty much motivated me to train hard all summer, just motivate myself. And I was amazed at everything he accomplished. CJ and the throwers, they worked very hard, and it was just crazy to see the amount of things they accomplished at the national level. And even though we didn't make it as a team, they were still mad that we didn't, you know, accomplish what they wanted as a team. So it showed me that it was more than just what you accomplished as an individual. You know, they really wanted to like get that ring for their class. So I hope we can come back and bounce back for it.
Well, I've asked other members of the program this before, but what is it like working out in a field house every day where you look at, you know, those two big red national championship banners that both came within the last few years?
It motivates me. I pay attention to that, and before I leave, I always look at the records. And I see Coach Samuels, and I see like the hurdle records, which is something that I really want, like to break a record and get my name on the wall. And I saw Lucas work for that every day. And I felt like if he didn't have so much on his plate, he focused a lot more than just hurdles. So in my mind, I felt like he probably could have has the record. So that's my goal. So things like that really motivate me. I love that I'm at a school where so much is, you know, accomplished and recent. So it puts a lot of pressure on you to keep that standard up.
Yeah. What would you say if, you know, when people are looking at some of the names that have moved on, several guys that won individual national titles moved on, and people might say, well, Concordia's going to have a tough time staying in the top 10 nationally like they have been. What would your response be?
I expect that. That's why I worked all summer, and I expect to pick up a bigger load. And just last year, I felt like they lost a lot, and people like Lucas scored a lot of points, put the team on his back. The throwers, they came in multiple events, so that motivates me to just not stand out in the 60 hurdles, but I want to be a national caliber in the 400 hurdles. I'm also trying out long jump, and I want to bring in, be stronger for like the 4x4, things like that. I feel like we got guys that are just more versatile, and so we can bring a lot of points to the table. I feel like we can back it up.
Well, like you said, the hurdles has been your kind of specialty event. Break down that event area. I mean, what can we look for from yourself and the rest of that group?
We have a good freshman class in the hurdles. We have like Cody and a few other guys that are putting up pretty good times for where they started off at. A lot of them didn't have a lot of experience in the hurdles, but with Coach Samuels, like I said, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's bringing them along pretty well, so I feel like we'll stack up a lot of points. And on my end, I expect to do well. I expect to lead the GPAC and go compete in nationals, just like Concordia hurdlers do every year. So keep up the training.
Well, I'm sure you've had a chance to work with Coach Ernie too, who's
yes.
new to the program now. What kind of impact have you seen him make so far?
Oh, I love Coach Ernie. He's very observant. He critiques you every time, and I like that. He's a great coach. He's coaching me in the long jump, and we only had about 2 workouts so far, but I've come a long way, and I look forward to competing and working with him. I love watching him every day. He brings like a different coaching technique to our team, so I feel like that'll work well.
And you probably pay attention to what some of the other groups on the event groups are doing on the team. What do you expect some of the strengths of this team to be?
I feel like we have a lot of great new throwers. I feel like we won't put the pressure on them to be the throwers from last year, but they will come in strong. We have put up a lot of numbers. I feel like that's our strength this year is numbers. Last year we were putting a lot of pressure on just certain people. I feel like this year we have a lot of freshmen that'll come in and surprise a lot of people. And with the field events as far as long jump, triple jump, and povo, I feel like we'll bring in a lot of points and be very strong. And I feel like we'll shock a lot of teams, especially with our freshmen. I feel like they'll be a great class for Concordia in the future years. So
now I know everyone had a chance already to compete in kind of an inter-squad meet early in December. What were some of the biggest takeaways that you had from that meet?
Yeah, I feel like it showed how hard we worked during this semester. I feel like everyone has been in like a season-ready mindset, so it was great to go out there and compete. Now we're just really hungry to get the season rolling. It kind of sucks we have Christmas break, because now we got our juices flowing, and now we have to put the pause button on a little bit. But so it was pretty good. I like where I was at. I wasn't where I was last year, but with adding 2 new events, the 200 and with the long jump, I like where I was at. So I can't wait for the season to come. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to some really quick questions here. Who's the funniest teammate?
I'd say Daniel Hicks. Yeah, he's very funny. He's always in a good mood. Keeps me doing the hard workouts. He keeps my mind off my legs cramping up and things like that. He's always joking even when he's tired. So I love him.
What's your dream job?
Dream job. I love to be a track coach. More like on the high school level. I love to work with kids. I feel like my coaches were a big impact on my life. So I love being a coach.
Favorite restaurant? Or fast food place?
I'd say Famous Dave's. I love Famous Dave's. Yeah, I love the barbecue.
Coming from out of state, what's maybe something that surprised you about Nebraska?
Nebraska. Maybe the Huskers. That was the big thing that surprised me. I wasn't too much aware about the Huskers, but it's pretty much like this state's NFL team. It's pretty cool. the loyalty and the support they show for like everywhere you go in Nebraska. We have the Hoosiers, and we're not that close to the actual stadium or the location, so we don't show that support. And like here, it's just statewide everywhere, so it's pretty cool.
Who's your childhood sports hero?
Childhood sports hero. That's a good one. I'll probably say LeBron James. I was a LeBron James fan when I was very young, when he was in high school, and I just been following him since I was growing up, and that was a pretty good motivation for me on and off, out of sports and on the sports. And that's why I chose to be a business major, because I like what he's doing, like off the court as a entrepreneur and things like that.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Pet peeve? I'm a pretty impatient person. I love to just stay on the gas. I hate sitting around, so I would say waiting around for things. So yeah.
What's the last movie you watched?
Last movie, The New Planet of the Apes, which was a pretty good movie. So yeah.
How about if you could go on a vacation anywhere and all your expenses are paid for? Where would you go?
I always want to go to an island called St. Lucia. I had a teammate from there, and he would show me photos of like their islands and their beaches and things like that. So I always want to go somewhere like that.
What's your best memory so far of competing at Concordia?
Our indoor conference, that was one of the most exciting meets I've ever been a part of. We were in the run-ins for winning, and it came down to the 4x4 and the triple jump, and so it was just a lot of energy. And then seeing Lucas win the athlete of the meet, and just how the team came together, and it was really fun. That was one of my funnest track meets I've ever been a part of, and I'm really looking forward to indoor conference and competing. So.